God doesn't allow evil to happen in this world. Welcome to part 3 of breaking down why evil exists in this world. And we need to understand that God's predetermined plan before the creation of the world is uninfluenced. Nothing and no one existed except for God in eternity past when all of this was planned. It was God, and it was God alone who predestined all that would occur. Nothing external to God moved him to decide to do one thing as opposed to another thing. There was not a council that he had to bounce ideas off of. There was no board. There was no vote. There was no other option suggested or on the table. God decided, and God's decree is uninfluenced. All things have occurred solely because God purposefully planned it to occur. That's why in Psalm 115, verse 3, it says, "But our God is in the heavens, and he does whatever he pleases." And Daniel 4, verse 35 says, "All the inhabitants of the earth are accounted as nothing, but he does according to his will in the host of heaven and among the inhabitants of earth, and no one can ward off his hand or say to him, 'What have you done?'" This is important to note because we may be tempted to answer the problem of evil with, well, God is sovereign and good. God doesn't ordain evil. He just allows it to happen for a good purpose. And to argue like this is sort of a cop-out. It's to suggest that Satan or some other evil agent was there with God in eternity past, asking him for permission for evil to occur, and God just said, okay, well, I'll allow it. No, God was not influenced, persuaded, deceived, or tempted to allow anything. He alone existed, and he alone planned all things, including evil. But surely now that he sees all the evil occurring, maybe he'll change his mind. Come back for part 4.